Hold up.
Every day I wake up, wake your ass up.
The Breakfast Club.
Y'all finished or y'all done? Yes, it's the world's most dangerous morning show, The Breakfast Club. Charlamagne the God, DJ Envy, Jess Hilarious. They're not here today, but Loren LoRosa is in. And we have a special guest, the author of the new book, And Then Came the Blues, My Story of Survival on Both Sides of the Badge, a memoir. Katrina Brownlee is here. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am blessed, black, and highly favored. You have a hell of a story. Where do you want to begin?
Wherever you want to go.
Well, the memoir tells a story of you being shot 10 times and overcoming the domestic violence. What helped you find the courage to not only write this book, but just to keep fighting for your life and I guess for your future as well?
Oh, gosh. The first thing I'll say, it was God. Faith, God, therapy, and my children.
Mm-hmm.
That's what kept me fighting. That's all I had. Was nothing else to even look at, to say, you know what, I want to fight. Like when you in survival mode, it's survival. You out there in the wilderness all by yourself, and you just trying to figure it out as you go along.
Mm-hmm.
The tagline of the book is my story of survival on both sides of the badge. Talk about, just the choice to make that the tagline, because there was one point where you were keeping what you were going through personally, the violence you were experiencing, and your work as a police officer separate.
So, you're speaking in terms of what does the badge on both sides mean?
Yes.
Oh, badge on both sides mean my life of me being abused. I wasn't just abused in terms of a domestic violence relationship. In the book, it also speaks about how I was child abuse, sexually abused. So I speak about that, and then I speak about the fact of me being a detective, being a police officer. So it's badges on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
And your ex-fiance was a CO.
Correct.
And so he basically used to abuse his power.
Correct.
Put his hands on you.
Correct.
Flash his badge.
Correct.
and threaten you, on speaking out.
Right. I was the inmate, and he was the correction officer at home. That's how it was.
Damn.
Yeah, that's pretty tough. What was it like for you day to day at work? Just with everything that you were experiencing, being able to then deal with other people's issues and showing up for other people. Like, what was that like mentally for you?
It was so heavy for so many years, because every day that you go to work, you never know that if somebody is going to recognize you or remember your story, because a few people did, know my story. It did make the news because at the time he was a correction officer.
Right.
So my name was Katrina Cook at that time, and so it's Brownlee. So a lot of people didn't put two and two together, and then when my story came out, a lot of people began to reach out to me. So it was just like a real difficult time just to work, and especially work in the police department, and how can I say it? Work for an organization that had failed me.
Right.
So I went in with the mindset of that I was going to change this department and I was going to be this good cop. But then when you go in, you realize that this is bigger than you. You ain't changing this. You're going to follow the rules or deal with the consequences.
I guess that was my question, just in everything that you had dealt with, then deciding to go and be a part of a force. It's like, it's so much that you can't change, but you get there to change it. But you're also still dealing with your own stuff mentally. Maybe my question is why? Why did you think that you could break that system down?
Because of all the pain that I had went through, everything that I had endured. Who was going to save me? They couldn't save me, so I had to try to save myself.
Got you.
When you would call the police and he would flash his badge and then the officers would leave, did that just make you feel hopeless? How did you think you was going to get out that situation?
To be honest with you, it was going to either be me or him. That's how bad it was getting.
Wow.
And the only reason what kept me from either killing myself, killing him, was my children. Because I was like, my kids are going to be motherless.
I guess Loren was getting at this, but I guess what I want to ask: how did that betrayal from the police shape your decision to enter law enforcement yourself?
Because I'd be mad going.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to be no cop, like. Because you call it a blue wall of silence. We all call it a blue wall of silence, but now you another brick on that wall.
To try to answer your question, like I said, like for me, I needed to be able to be protected. Mm-hmm. So in order for me to be protected, I had to. That was one of the ways to be protected. Like I'm gonna go in and because if I'm a cop, they didn't give him a long sentence, so he's coming out. So is he going to come out and finish the job? But if I'm a cop, what is he? He not going to do that. He's not going to behave that way, right? And then my thing was I want to go in and I want to be able to shape. I want to clean this place up. Like I had this mindset because I just believe that I can go in there, I can change because I wanted change because I could not believe that you would see me with a black eye. You would see me with a busted lip. And you would just say, work it out, or you wouldn't even address me. And I'm standing there. You don't say anything to me. Mm-hmm. But because he showed his shield, he had the right to do what he did.
What's it like? Because we hear a lot about like when women are in these situations, there's this pattern of almost feeling like sorry for the person that is abusing you, or like just some sort of like savior, like you want to save them from like whatever the consequence may be because you're trying to figure out like why it's happening or whatever the case may be. I know he had tried to call and reach out to you to have you say he didn't do certain things. Mm-hmm. Was there ever a moment where you thought like it would be best for me to just be quiet about this?
Oh, absolutely. Because he was the sole provider for our household. So I thought about it. I was like, now he in jail, like I'm gonna take care of myself. So I became homeless. So I thought about it. But then I just said to myself, nah, I'm not doing that. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not going to do that. Like, it's whatever at this point. And so, and I speak about it in the book, how his mom had written a letter and signed my name and said that I had shot myself 10 times.
What? How difficult is it to have these conversations? I mean, because, when I see your story and, there's certain things I want to ask, I don't want to trigger you. So how difficult is it to have these conversations?
You can ask me whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. If this is a safe space, you can ask me whatever.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just talking about it, I know you got to relive it because you had to rewrite. You had to write the book, and then now you being asked questions. But you were shot 10 times, and you were left for dead while you was 5 months pregnant. Mm-hmm. And they said it went on for an hour and a half.
I don't know how long it went on, honestly, because I was in and out of consciences. I don't know. I just that part was told to me by the ADA, who now is one of my good friends.
Mm-hmm. How did you rebuild your identity after all of this happened? After being homeless, after having to break down, after being shot and left for dead. Like, how did you just rebuild your identity to even become the detective that you became? And you were part of the mayor's security detail as well.
I was,
right?
yeah. A lot of therapy, and a lot of God. Mm. That is what helped me, and just the will that God had given me to just want to live. Mm. And when you get the will to live, then it's that light on the wall right there up in the ceiling, and you follow that light, and you allow that light to continue to go, and that's your strength, and that's your power. And then you get your power back. And so that's what it was for me. Because that's all I had.
Do you truly forgive somebody when they do something that heinous to you?
I had to. Because I was angry. I was so bitter. I was bitter. And when you bitter at that level,
Go get some tissue, Brandon.
When you bitter at that level, thank you. Mm-hmm. If you do not forgive, you become a product of that. Mm-hmm. And I just did not want to be that. Mm. I was broken long enough. And in order for you to get into a situation like that, it had to be a story that happened. Mm. We don't We don't wake up and get into these relationships. So I came from transgenerational trauma. And that's how I wind up in a situation where a man shoots me 10 times and abuses me.
Talk a bit about the chapter Until We Meet Again. We talk about your mom, and you talk about just, how everything that you went through made you treat just being able to wake up and live every single day. Why was it important for you to include that chapter in the book?
I did not have a relationship with my mother. So when she died, it was like I got robbed, like totally robbed. And I will never know what it feels like to have a mother. So I just felt that it was important to just speak about that. Because I know that I'm not the only one that's out there. And this book is not just for me. It's for all people that can be able to relate to my story. And I just hope that it inspires people. I hope it can change people's life. And I just hope that even for people that are abusers, that they can go get help, because abusers, they're broken. And mental health is real.
What was the emotional turning point in the writing process of this book that just made you feel like a little lighter?
Because I wasn't able to really tell the story. It was like I'm finally getting everything out now. Like it was like, I'm gonna be honest, like being constipated, like for so many years.
Gotta get that shit out.
There you go, right there. There you go, right there, that part. And so that's what I'm telling you, that's exactly how I felt. And it felt so good. And it feels good to be able to now be able to speak my truth and be able to tell the story. Even I had friends that I had been friends with for so many years that didn't even know my story. And so you sit out with your girlfriends, you hang out with them, you travel with them, and they don't even know who you really are. And you living in this bubble, this world, because you can't really tell. Because if I would have told, and somebody told the police department, they would have fired me. Because they wouldn't have want that stigma.
When you became an officer, did you have more empathy for law enforcement? Like, did you realize why they were the way they were?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Let me tell you something that people don't know. The cops, they get abused by the higher ups there. I'm telling you, they get abused. So that's just like, if you abuse your child, right? A lot of times your child becomes an abuser. So that's all it is. They don't get treated well there. So now if I'm not getting treated well, how am I going to go out here and protect and serve? How am I going to go out there and protect and be kind to people when I'm not even being kind at home? Right. The police, that's your home, right? You there to protect and serve. You there and to go out there and do your job. But if you're being beat down and you're being told you're a loser and you're being told that you ain't write enough summonses or you ain't lock enough people up, and then you get in trouble, and if you tell and if you snitch, the consequences. So how can you go out there and really be effective?
What about the stuff that you were saying aside? Like you talked about like the chocolate team and the vanilla team.
Yeah.
And the different neighborhoods they would go to.
That's right.
And I guess you should explain it for people, the difference between the teams. And then I wanted to ask you about you going to your boss and saying, hey, they're doing illegal searches. You need to figure that out. And the boss was like, I'm cool.
Yeah, the chocolate team was the black team and the vanilla team was the Caucasian team.
And they went to, so like y'all are in different neighborhoods or whatever. You decide you see something that you know is not right. You decide to go to your higher up. Your higher up says, I'm not disturbing my pension to correct a bad cop.
Right. Because a lot of times if you would tell, it's consequences. It's real. It is really real. And this is your life you're talking about. Cops kill themselves all the time. What do you think they killing themselves for? They ain't killing themselves because they ain't getting enough money or enough love. They killing themselves because it's real in there. A lot of guilt. And they can't be who they want to be. They can't be their authentic self there. So they got to be somebody else. And sometimes people can't handle that. Everybody's mental health level is different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been having that conversation a lot lately. Like, I feel like police officers should have to deal with mental health professionals. Like literally every week. Like they should be sitting down with mental health professionals.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they have some hotline called Papa, but I don't even think that those are people that are actually equipped to be able to deal with the trauma that police officers face every day. That should be, you make sure that it's mandatory training for all these other different things that don't really matter. But why you don't have mandatory mental health training for your police officers so they can be suited and booted and in a good mental state to be out there to go out there to fight and be able to really protect and serve.
That's right.
Right? So if you want to have a great police department, you got to have a great police department, and they got to be able to have integrity. You got to be able to have police officers be able to just really show up for someone. That's why I didn't want to be a domestic violence officer. I was like, I'm not going there and go to a call and it's a domestic violence officer, and what I'm gonna really do for her, or what I'm gonna really do for him. Come on, it ain't. The system ain't geared to help us like that, especially people that look like us.
Do you, even now in sharing your story in the book, you talked about switching units because of like just fear of the things that were happening or whatever?
And what part are you talking about?
Well, you talked about the empty. You said y'all arrested, I think it was like 145, 147 people. There was like buses of people, and you were saying that like being in narcotics was getting a little like, you were fearing for your safety.
Oh yeah.
Do you feel for your safety now because you're talking about all this stuff?
No, absolutely not. I trust God. You know, I believe that He has me on an assignment, and whatever it's gonna be, it's gonna be. I'm telling the truth. I'm telling the truth, and I am here on whatever platform to be able to speak the truth. And so we got to stop lying to people. You know, we got to stop lying. Like we're not being real with people. Let's stop lying. Let's start telling the truth. And let's start really showing up. And if we're not showing up, then shut up.
But as you said, though, people are afraid to tell the truth, especially in that system because of fear of retaliation.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, right? Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And I stood quiet. And so now I get to be able to tell the truth. So you got to do what you have to do and do it with wisdom and knowledge and understanding. That's how you do it. Not saying go out there and be foolish about it, but have some wisdom with it.
I saw in an interview where you said a good cop is somebody with empathy who cares.
Yeah.
So what is a bad cop? Somebody who just doesn't have empathy?
Just don't care. Yeah, I'm just here. I'm here to I'm just here. Got my uniform on. I got my suit on, and I'm here. A lot of cops, they haven't even. Let me tell you something. I remember working with a partner of mine, and we were in the car, and he said to me, you know, I never was around black people till I came to this job.
Damn.
And I was like, what? I said, so how you gonna police us if you have never experienced? And he dropped his head, and I took him to my aunt's house. And I said, I'm gonna show you what black family look like. Because our story ain't your story. And I took him there, and I called my aunt on the phone. And I said, I'm going to bring this young man to the house. And she cooked this fried chicken and made him some real soul
Changed
food.
his life.
Let me tell you something. This guy called me just the other day. And he said, thank you for the experience.
Wow. So I wonder, when you become an officer, of course there's people who just naturally don't have empathy, but I wonder if you can go in with empathy but then lose it.
Oh, 100%. because you can get right in the mix with them. You can get right in it. And it ain't hard for you to, I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
Because had I not had my experience, it's a great possibility that would have happened to me.
Wow.
Because you really believe in this, in this family. Because let me tell you something. Some of them cops, that's all they got is that family. And I'm telling you, they live and die. I mean, I got police, they are going in my comments, like, trying to attack me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, y'all know I'm telling the truth. But y'all rather protect that than to protect this. And I don't want people to feel sorry for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not no victim. I've been victimized, but I'm not no victim.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to be real clear. And one person said in the comments, oh, what more do you want? You retired a first grade detective. What do you mean? I worked hard to be a first grade detective. Ain't nobody give that to me.
Mm-hmm.
Have I gotten help along the way? Absolutely. But I worked. I worked in them streets. And I worked in the streets that look like you and I.
Mm-hmm.
Because I understood that had I not been there, things would have been different for a lot of people.
Wow. You spoke about how, you forgave your ex-fiance because you didn't want to have that bitterness in you. Did you also have maybe some empathy for him because you know how he became that way, maybe?
I have empathy for him because he a broken man in pieces.
Mm-hmm.
He was never made of anything, no substance to him as a man. Any man that can put his hands on a woman and you shoot her and you beat her and you murder your child, what is he made of?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have empathy for him.
What about for your grandmother? Like, did you ever get to a place where you forgave her for, like, I know there was something about, like, her, when y'all first, like, I guess, like, broke up, she knew what was going on. She was like, work it out, figure it out with him.
I never was mad at my grandmother because my grandmother was a product of brokenness. I speak about that in the book. My grandfather left my grandmother for a white woman. And that was the demise of my family. My grandmother never recovered. She died from a broken heart.
Mm. Mm. You think abusers need rehabilitation or jail time?
I think both. While you in there, you should be able to get your help, your healing, whatever it is that you need.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you put them in prison and you don't do nothing with them, or they come out and be a worse savage than they already was.
That's right.
I was going to ask, how do you deal with your day-to-day now? Because, like, where is he? Like, what is he?
I have no idea.
Do you still live in fear of him?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not. I fear no one but God.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The title of your book alludes to the blues, right? And you think of blues, you think of like the music, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what does blues mean to you, and how does it reflect, your journey from trauma to healing?
And then came the blues, is my life, and then the NYPD life. Those are the blues.
Got you.
And then the blues of my life. My life was blues on top of blues.
Mm-hmm. What color is it now?
White. That's right.
You feel like you definitely came out on the other side.
Oh, let me tell you something. I've never been in a better place. I have finally found peace. And when you get peace, you will never allow anybody else to disrupt that peace.
Mm.
I'm walking peace. I live for peace.
Do you remember the exact moment? Like you felt it, like, oh man, I feel free. I feel peace.
When I left City Hall that day and I retired,
Wow.
I'm telling you, it was like a light just came over on me.
Wow.
And the ADA that was on my case at the time, she was there at my walkout, and we were leaving, and she said, I've been waiting to send this post. Do I have your approval to now tell the world what happened to you? And I said, absolutely. And when she pressed send, it was it.
Wow.
Was there ever a moment of like when you had to testify in court, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or decided to? Was there ever a moment for you where you thought you felt that peace that you're talking about, but then later on, I guess you realized like you're finally here? Like, because I would think maybe that would bring you some sort of closure or peace as well too, or no?
You mean testify with my case?
With your ex-fiance?
I never got a chance to testify.
Oh, so when you showed up to court, they didn't put you on the stand?
When I showed up in the courtroom, he turned around and saw me because he thought that he had like intimidated me enough that I would not come.
Because he was threatening you from jail.
Right, to come to court. And when I walked in and he saw me, he whispered to his attorney, and the next thing I know, they took me back out of the courtroom. And the next thing I knew, I pled guilty.
Because you came to you first you told the DA you was going to disappear, right?
Yeah, I told her I was disappearing.
And then you came later in the trial.
Yeah, because she told me that she was going to hunt me down or something like a dog. I can't remember what she told me. She had told me, she was like, that is not, you're going to show up. And I'm like, for what? Nothing's going to happen to him.
Mm-hmm.
And everything that I said was going to happen, it happened.
Wow.
Mm.
Wow.
And that's, and when people read the book, you will see every single thing.
Mm-hmm.
How does a man shoot someone 10 times, kill their child, and all you give them is 5 to 15? Tell me how that works.
Well, because you're a black woman.
Right.
Number one. Number two, because he was part of the law enforcement. Yeah, so they was protecting their own.
That's right.
Yeah.
That part.
So your decision not to want to show up until day 4, that was just a decision out of fear, basically.
It was fair, and then I was just like, it's nothing gonna happen. Like, listen, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We're not gonna play no more games. I'm tired of showing up, and y'all not showing out.
Mm-hmm.
So am I gonna show up today? What's gonna happen if I show up today?
Mm-hmm.
When y'all show up, what's gonna happen? Is something gonna change today?
Damn. I'm wondering, being that you never told anybody your story, and you know when you would get calls for those domestic violence cases, why did you tell people you didn't want to be involved in them when you're an officer?
Because I can't. What was I? There's nothing yet in the department that really help domestic violence victims. Mm. What am I? So why would I do that to somebody else?
Were you kind of thinking to yourself, I might go out here and be a vigilante and end up hurting one of these?
I wasn't. I like freedom. I went to early on in my career. I went to the jail and did the SCARE program, and I said, "Oh no, no way, nah." And that was one of the things that I wanted to that I felt good about, because y'all would have fired me if I would have told you. But look how I went and didn't have no scandals. I did my job. I had integrity. I was respected. And then I left in a clean slate. I did that. Mm-hmm. And y'all would have said that I couldn't have done that. And I've had people put in my comments that they was being honest on their interview, trying to get onto the police department, and told them that they were a victim, and they never heard from the police department. And I got it in my DMs. Wow. And I've made sure that I screenshot them. Wow. And my publicist, she can tell you, she know that I'm not lying. And they say, oh, she's lying. We wouldn't have fired her.
Have any of the officers that showed up those times when you did reach out to police come back and been like, we should have done more?
Or I'm
Funny
sorry.
You say that.
I'm sorry. Anything?
Let me tell you. When when the story first dropped, an anonymous caller called me. A lot of anonymous police officers were calling me and saying, "You're a hero. I wish that I had the strength to do what you're doing. Thank you for being a voice." But I had one call me and he said, "I'm not sure if I'm the officer that responded to you because I worked at the 8-1 at that time." He said, "But I want to say to you that I apologize if I am." He said, "I'm not going to tell you my name." I believe he told me he was either a captain or an inspector at the time that he retired, and he had moved to Florida. And he said, "I just want to tell you that I apologize to you," and hung up the phone.
Did that do anything for you?
I just broke down in tears because I said, maybe had you did something, maybe this wouldn't have happened to my life. But he never gave me a chance to say anything.
You know, they say everybody got to have a testimony, right? And if you didn't have that testimony, you wouldn't be where you are now. But damn, you have to go through all of that. You have the organization now, Young Ladies of Our Future, which is a nonprofit organization that serves at-risk young women, and you have Can't Be Silenced, an organization working on solutions to the urgent domestic violence crisis. What made you want to start both those organizations?
Well, Young Ladies of Our Future, I wanted to start that because I never wanted any young girl, young lady, to ever have to endure what I have endured. So if I could just be able to pour into them and be able to change their lives and make a difference in their life, I just wanted to be able to do that. So that was the purpose of that. And I teach workshops just about self-esteem, self-awareness, a whole leap of things. And the Can't Be Silenced piece was because I had to be silenced for so long, and now I have a voice, and I am the voice for the voiceless and the hope for the hopeless. So that is why.
So do you feel like everything happens for a reason?
Yeah, I do believe that. You know, Charlamagne, when I was a little girl, I was in so much pain from what was going on in my life. And I used to, now people call it a journal. I used to write my diary. And I had lost it when I had gotten older, and I found it through moving. And that was how I was able to just write down so much detail. Because it was so much pain, and I was able to put it all together. And I said as a little girl, I said, I want to be an author. I want to be a writer. My grandmother was a librarian. God had to give me a story to be an author.
Wow.
Ending your story in the book, I turned to the last page to show your in your book.
Yeah, I want that to be a surprise.
Okay, because I thought, we'll just leave it.
Yeah, I want it to be a surprise.
I guess I'll rephrase the question then. At the end of your book, you choose to end it in a very uplifting, like silver lining way of all of this.
I just want to say, only Lauren would give away the ending of the book.
Because it's
come on now.
No, because it's so sweet.
You don't give away the whole ending.
Well, okay, you're right. But I think for most people, because they hear all of this and then they're wondering, like, well, what is your personal life like? Like, how do you rebuild?
And I want people to see.
Personally and dating from that. And you, go ahead.
Yeah, I want people to know that dreams do come true. And that don't ever give up on your dream. Don't ever give up on yourself. Because look what happened for me. And if God can do it for me, he can do it for you.
When did you first start truly loving yourself?
Oh, gosh. Oh, God, it took so many years. Oof. When I met the minister, Louis Farrakhan.
All praise is due to the minister. Absolutely.
Before
the minister.
Oh, God, what, 2010? That's when I started, and he began to pour into me, and it changed my life.
Was that when you were able to find, I guess, because they say you can't love anybody else until you love yourself. So were you able to find healthy love in your life after that? I was able to start to be able to find healthy love in friendships and relationships, right? Because we attract what we are, right? If you're broken, you got broken homegirls. So let's keep it real, right? Broken relationships. It's only until you get
healed and made whole. And what is made whole, nothing missing, nothing damaged, is what's being made whole. Right? That's what that looks like.
I just got a few more questions. What have you learned about, what have been some of your biggest lessons in regards to resilience?
The biggest lessons probably is like, you got to fight. I don't care what I'm telling you, got to fight. You have to really, like, you got to put on your boxing gloves, and like you got to go in there like you the heavyweight world champion. If I'm saying it correctly,
Heavyweight champion. Of the world.
Heavyweight champion of the world. Like, you got to go into the ring with that mindset that I'm gonna come out the winner. You cannot go in there if you go in already saying that you're defeated. You're gonna be defeated. And I was just determined, like, I got to win. I have to win. So every obstacle, I said, I'm going to get to the finish line. And I got to the finish line.
Oh, you said I was just going to ask, too, about the photos and the art on the book. Just choosing, like, how you chose the photos and the art. Like, the back photo, the opening photo showing both sides of you. Like, how did you know what you wanted to depict image-wise to match what the book would be telling? Because so on point.
That, let me tell you, that had taken a lot of meditation, because I didn't, because of what's going on with the police. I was like, I don't know if I want to put that on the cover, and I'm just like, it's just not a police story. This is just not about a police story, right? This is so much in it. So I'm just like, let me put me and let me put the cop, and let's work it out like that. And then I just sent it to my literary agent, and she sent me back some pictures and said, what do you think? And I said, let's do this. And that's how we got there. And that picture there is probably one of my favorite pictures.
The photo on the back of the book.
You look so innocent.
Because
like, I don't see. I'm looking, and I'm like, I don't even see the pain in your eyes. Like, you just.
And I was in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
When I'm talking about, I was at the core pain, putting that shoe on. And I had, I don't want to give too much away, but I was in a lot of pain. A lot of pain, physically and mentally, that day. And I remember the photographer saying something to me, and I just looked up at him.
If you could speak to your younger self, the 22-year-old you who survived that unimaginable trauma, what do you wish she knew in that moment?
Oh, gosh. I wish I knew God. I wish I knew what love felt like. I wish that I had gave myself some grace and had a little bit more patience with myself, and wish I could have believed in myself. I mean, I can go on. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot.
What do you hope readers take away from your memoir, especially those who might be navigating their own survival stories right now?
I really hope and pray that people really, truly will be inspired. I want people to also be empowered. I want people to be educated. I want people to understand the importance of loving yourself, the importance of getting healed, the importance of your mental health. And I also want people to even have a different outlook on the police department, because all cops are not bad. They're not. I just want officers to stop ignoring domestic violence cases, because you survived, like, literally, like, you got shot 10 times, survived, and I'm thinking about it so much, because I just came home from, South Carolina, like yesterday, and I was told a story about a young woman named Angel Capers, and she was 38 years old, and she had been calling the police and telling the police, I think it was her ex or somebody was going to kill him. He's going to kill me, because he used to beat on her, and for whatever reason they wasn't taking her serious, and this dude came in the house, shot and killed her.
like 6 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and she's no longer here. So it's just like, I'm just like, I don't understand why officers don't take that serious. If somebody says to you, hey, this person is going to kill me, why isn't something done immediately?
And the thing about it is that, look, this is in a whole nother state. This is happening everywhere. It's people from all over the world reaching out to me for help, and I can't help them because there's nothing in place for people that's in these situations. And I really wish that the government would step up and do more. We need policy. We need change because people are literally dying out here. And a lot of people don't even call because they know they're not going to get help. And a lot of people stay because where are they going to go?
Yeah.
That's right.
I got homegirls in those situations.
That's right.
Yes. So I'm just asking whomever, Congress, somebody, help. Please.
Why is it so hard for that to change though? Because people, you see people dying and not making it out. Why is it so hard to make it where if you call the police, they can actually do something and that person can't just walk back into your house?
Because the system is just not set up to protect. It's not. And we need change.
Yeah. Like
right? We need change. We go out and we vote for people that tell us lies. Stop voting for people that's not helping. If they are not doing the work before they get in, why are you voting for them?
That's right.
We got to stop just being a part of something that's not real. They lying and saying, "Oh, I could do this, I can get this done," and nothing don't get done. And then when they get in the office, they act like they never even had those conversations.
Wow. If people want to sign up for your seminars or, be a part of the Young Ladies of Our Future or Can't Be Silenced, where do they reach?
Miss.Katrina456 and Katrina Brownlee on Facebook, all my social media platforms.
Well, I'm glad that you survived, and I'm glad that you're here to tell your story because this is going to help somebody. So, And Then Came the Blues, my story of survival on both sides of the badge, a memoir from Katrina Brownlee, is available everywhere now. My last question, one word that describes your journey.
One last word to describe my journey. God, I made it. I made it.
It's Katrina Brownlee. It's The Breakfast Club. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Hold up. Every day I wake up, wake your ass up. The Breakfast Club.
Y'all finished or y'all done?